we're live. Welcome. My name is Ashley, and this is my channel. We're getting into all things business and marketing. I finally made the commitment to just show up every single week. I've been wanting to do this for months, and I had to move and all of, life. Life just happened. So, we're finally live. We're finally doing this. This is real time action here. And I felt compelled to put this video out because I've been doing a lot of client work lately. I've been getting into the industry a bit more. And I see that there's some hesitancies, there's some questions and concerns about 2025, and there should be. Not because anything bad is happening, but the industry is slightly shifting. There's some companies that are being removed, possibly forever, companies that are being forced to sell, which could ultimately affect marketing, right? Not going to name any names on here. We don't want any kind of weird activity on this channel. But if you've been following the industry at all, if you're in any way interested in marketing and business, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. So, I want to get into marketing for 2025. What does that mean? What should we do? How should we plan? And basically get ahead of everything that's happening for next year. So, we do know, at least in the USA, we are finally out of the election cycle for this year. So, things should generally resume back to normal. If you're looking at doing your marketing plan, really, you should already have Q1 mapped out because we are at the end of Q4. If you don't have Q1 mapped out, that's totally okay. We can get through that here in just a little bit. This is not going to be some overly polished video. I just want to have a conversation with you and just share what's in my thoughts, what I've been seeing in the industry, some upcoming trends, some things to pay attention to for next year. And then let's get into some planning for it. So, what's happening for next year? There is a slight shift happening in the search engine space. If you are big at all into search engine optimization, where backlinks are not going to be the most important thing ever, unfortunately for the industry, which, we're not surprised. But there were agencies and services that were buying backlinks, which were, yes, giving websites some form of credibility, looking like with backlinks, but the links just were not high quality. And when you're looking at search engine optimization, we're going to touch on this first because it's a question that everybody has, but I just want to simplify it for you right here and just explain a little bit about what search engine optimization actually is and how you can plan for it. Now, why am I qualified? I've been doing search engine optimization now for several years. I'm a national presenter. I did a national presentation through Score International. I do local presentations here in central US where I live. And it's just been a huge topic of mine ever since I switched into more of a data or operations perspective. So 3 things to keep in mind for SEO, especially if you're looking at the hyperlocal level. It's so much easier to build SEO in a hyperlocal space than it is on a national or global scale. Sorry, I'm talking fast. Keep up with me here. So for search engine optimization, what you really want to look for is the amount of traffic coming to a specific page or domain or website, how long they're staying on that page, because it's showing that your page or your website is relevant to the search for whoever was searching. And then you also want engagement. You want them to click around. You want them to dive further. You don't really want them backing out of it and going back to the search engine results because Google is probably tracking that and they don't think that the search is relevant at that point. Now, here's the thing. If you look at a search engine, just think for a moment, what are we doing with search engines? What's the point of them? It's to search things online and find the most relevant material for my search. Search engines would go out of business really fast if they didn't provide relevant searches or relevant results for your search. So their entire position is to make sure that when you search a specific combination of letters and words, that the results that come up are going to be the most beneficial for you. And they do that by looking across all of the searches and all of the data on the websites that they're crawling to see which pages or websites are authority based or like authoritative, right? So people are really clicking on this link or this domain. They're staying here for X amount of time. They're clicking around and engaging with that page. So that's telling Google now or Bing or Yahoo or wherever you're searching, it's telling that search engine that this page is relevant, this domain is relevant, it's authoritative, people are interested in it, people are engaging with it. So, what I recommend going into 2025 to get around some of that backlink weirdness with SEO is to, yes, continue posting blog articles. I know it doesn't seem like you need to, but I promise you do. Here's why. When somebody is searching, let's use as an example a mattress company. When people are searching, why does my back hurt, or how to sleep better, or what can I do to XYZ for sleep, right? It's not going to pull up like buy this mattress. But a certain mattress company might have posted an article related to that question. So now they've captured on the SEO relating to that search. That person is now going to read all about how to improve their sleep. And at the very end or in the middle of that blog article is going to be a redirection to their shop or their website to learn more. And obviously, that's going to be buying a mattress. So if you're following me at all right now, basically, the important part about blogs is not to just have people like fan basing your blogs and following you around the internet space. It's to be able to answer questions that people are searching for. So when you're putting out like advertisements and you're talking about keywords and things like that, you're trying to peg those keywords that people are actually searching for. Search engine optimization is just that. It's optimizing what people are searching for and then getting your content to show up in front of them. So for example, a mattress store. What mattress store really needs a blog? My answer, every mattress store. There are so many topics that a mattress store can post on related to sleep, posture, overall wellness, industry specific, so materials, manufacturing information, things like that, that when somebody is searching, maybe how to make a bed, like literally manufacture a bed. There are people out there now like that. People are opening up their own companies. You see them everywhere, and I'm not going to say why. But if you have a company that is posting blog articles relevant to the actual searches that are being searched, then that company has a better chance of showing up. I worked with the client account about 2 years ago now, where almost 100% of their traffic was coming from blog articles. And it was a home-based company that sold products for the home. And what people were searching for was like how to care for parts of their home. And their blogs were continuously coming up at the top, which was driving most of the traffic to their site and establishing them as an authority in that area, all because of blogs. So if you're talking or hearing me talk right now and you are kind of questioning, like, ew, blog articles, like, no, yes, my friends, they are so important. They are so important if you do them the right way. Now, that is what I would focus on in 2025 regarding search engine optimization. If you want templates or if you want more about that, you can follow all of my websites on here. I have templates that I published for blog articles that basically show you how to design a really high performing blog article so that it's optimized for people to use and get back to your site. And essentially what you want to do is you want to include calls to action. You want to include almost like a landing page, almost like a blog style landing page. It's not going to be cute and pretty like a regular sales landing page, but it is going to do its job. And essentially, you want to have all of the education and the keywords and everything at the top, and somewhere in the middle or towards the end, you want to have product drops or buttons or learn more or download here. There's so many ways that you can go with this. I just do not have the time to get into it. I have to dedicate an entire live stream to just SEO. I freaking love it. So we will do that. Next, let's move on to paid advertising. I should have gotten more water. I knew better and I didn't, but here we are. Too late to end it now. So for paid advertising is getting a little bit wonky as well, especially with the privacy things that are coming into play, which, by the way, I am a fan, kind of counterintuitive from a marketing perspective. Yeah, it kind of stinks, but as a consumer, I don't mind having some privacy. So there are a lot of privacy laws in place. There are ways to not get around it, but to try to look at your data a different way so that you can really optimize the campaigns that you're pushing. Um, what I would do is really get familiar with a nice infrastructure for ads so that you can build out an exact ad set. You know exactly what you're A B testing, you know exactly when to cut this off, you know exactly how to look at the data so that you know what's working and what's not. Create a really solid infrastructure for monitoring your data and start testing. Start testing immediately because you want to look at a few different factors here. There's industry factors that play a role in how you're competing with paid ads, like who are you bidding against, who are you competing with. There's seasonal aspects to this. There's so much that goes into paid advertising that again, that would be an entirely separate video, but we're covering some things to focus on in 2025. So get into testing. If you're not already doing this, big businesses, you can probably just ignore me at this point and move on. Small businesses, I'm here to be your pal. We are business besties. You want to get into paid ads. And if you can't afford right now to get into things like Google, which comfortably you could probably do for about 200 to 250 a month on a very small budget, if you can't do something like Google or Bing or Facebook Meta, if you can't afford some of those bigger campaigns, LinkedIn can be quite expensive depending on what you're doing, then I would look at doing something like paid social boosting. It's not the same thing as like running a full campaign, but it does allow you to start testing and tracking data because data is going to be your best friend. You need data. Otherwise, you're just tossing noodles at the wall and trying to see what sticks, but you're not really understanding why. And that's exactly what marketing is supposed to be. It's supposed to be monitoring the industry, but a lot of testing. A lot of testing, a lot of implementing, a lot of refining, optimizing. That's why marketing never stops because we're constantly doing outreach, internal marketing, right? So, like inbound marketing, that's what I was trying to say. But we're also optimizing. It's a lot of optimizations, and it's just something that never stops, and that's okay. So, SEO, continue that. Do exactly what I mentioned just a few minutes ago. Join my page or follow my page if you want more on that or you just want to get into that a little bit more. I have so many freebies, it is ridiculous. And I'll be showing up here to do live streams like this as well and posting videos. So stay tuned for that. Paid advertising, get into it. If you haven't started it already, I highly recommend that you get into it and start testing to just figure out what's happening with your audience, your data, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Now, we can talk all things social, like organic social. I just really feel like the day and age for that has come and gone. It's so busy online. There will be social media experts that preach organic all day long, and I understand why. It's not impossible. YouTube, for example, is a great platform for that. However, when we're talking about busy small businesses who are already overstretched and at their wits' end, you need something efficient. And with paid boosted ads, you know 100% that that content is going to be seen by somebody. And then you can target that audience and refine it a little bit better. With organic socials, only about 12% of your actual audience, so people that are subscribed to you or following you, are going to see that content. 12%. And that is if they're even online when you post it, because the algorithm might not show it back to them again if they have come online after you've posted it, you know, hours before. That's why people are like, oh, post 3 times a day, yada, yada, yada. Yes, that does work. It does. It can. But like exhausting, right? Like who wants to do that? So I highly recommend getting a nice strategy in place where you're getting high quality content, you're doing live streams like this, whatever it is for your business and your industry, and then really get into and get comfortable with budgeting for and practicing your ad boosts. I have done this now for over a decade. I have thrown a lot of money on the table willingly to just play around with ads. It's something that I could afford at various times in my career and through my businesses and my consultative work. And I only got better because of that, on top of working with agencies and working with clients. So I just recommend getting into it if you have an interest in marketing. If not, try to find somebody that can help. If you work with like my team, for example, I have a fractional CMO consultancy, and we offer monthly services to help small businesses and marketers. We really support our marketers, which is so funny because usually we work with businesses, but we've made a pivot to really help our marketers because y'all, the industry is stretched. So everybody's feeling it. Um, yeah, so really get into that. Organic social is okay. It's a hit or miss. You don't want to waste your time. That's why I recommend doing a strategy with paid boosts in it. So, as far as the industry goes, we'll kind of move into now. I mean, I talked about those three things for what to do in 2025. Let's do a quick little pivot into how to plan for it and kind of what to expect. So, if you look at the business industry as a whole, my master's is in IO psychology, so I'm really looking at organizational psychology. I do dabble in consumer psychology, so what's happening with those trends. We're seeing a big push on the humanization, essentially, of business and marketing. So people are getting really tired of the salesy, preachy kind of marketing tactics, the shock factors. Think of it as like a desensitization. I think that's a word, desensitization. You know what I mean? We're becoming desensitized to all of the different ads and videos that are being put out there. I've even seen it in my accounts. Some of the ads that were working before are not working now. And it was because it was a very like, ha ha ha. Like, I've just moved away from that because the industry is moving away from it. And being more authentic and wholesome like this is something that resonates with me. And it seems to resonate with a lot of people. And it feels better. So we're more likely now in the society that we're in, because it's so busy and so loud, that unless you have a service or an offer, a product that people cannot refuse, you're going to get like passed on, right? They want something to connect with. And this is just an example, so bear with me here. I saw an advertisement that was probably like 3 minutes long, the longest ad of my life. And I watched the entire thing because it was a story. And they didn't promote their brand until the very end of that story. But the story was so impactful that I still remember it to this day. It was a good one. So, what does that mean? Without getting into the specifics of what the ad was, I want to compel you to really think about how you're connecting with your audiences. How are you solving their problems, becoming a solution for them? How are they going to feel? What are they going to think? Start to kind of think about those elements and highlight those. It's not about getting into like the FOMO or loss aversion for our audiences. It's really about connecting with them where they are and offering solutions that are going to actually help them and uplift and enhance their life. So I say all of that to say what to expect in 2025. I would really focus on just really making connections, like authentic, deep connections with your audience and your community, doing something even as simple as this, showing up on live stream, being yourself or being your brand self so that people can really resonate and relate to you. There is a lot of information coming out now, a lot of data coming out finally that shows that people are more likely to buy from you when they know your story or they know your team or they see something besides just a product or a service. So start designing some of your campaigns around that. Start looking at some of the psychology of marketing if you have an interest in it. I highly recommend that. I offer a free marketing operations course. That's right, completely free, of over a decade of experience, because not a lot of people are talking about the operations of marketing. And I really want to lead the charge there. Let's talk about marketing operations. I have a free course that I highly recommend, of course, that you check out. And it goes through all of this, and it actually includes all kinds of downloads, which are scholarly resources in marketing that you can see like real-time data about the psychology of marketing and the evolution of marketing and really try to understand it, to understand what consumers are feeling. And you're probably feeling it too. I mean, you are a consumer. I'm so low on water. This is so sad. Stay hydrated. So yes, that is what we want to plan for. Now, how to plan, keeping myself on track here. I'm really doing good because I did not even create a bullet list for myself today. How to plan for 2025. This is a good one. So, again, I recommend that marketing operations course. However, if you want some little tidbits right now, I would focus on one quarter at a time and collect all of the data that you can for this quarter. Focus on content that is designed to connect, to relate, to compel through emotion. Really tell a story, whether you're telling stories of your customer personas, or you're telling stories of your own team, or you're telling example stories of like your ideal customers. Really start getting stories out there so that people understand. Even if you look at the ancestry that we all share as humans, many of our civilizations come from storytelling. It is the most foundational way to share and disperse information. And it's really important that we adopt that into our marketing. That's what I call marketing with soul or humanizing business. It's really connecting to the stories and the emotions that people are feeling in everyday life. And these disconnected campaigns, these disconnected ads, they're just going to continue wasting money because people aren't buying it, right? They're not interested. Like I said, unless you have a service or a product that's absolutely irresistible, if you have a lot of competition, I highly recommend you get into the storytelling aspects and really diving into the people behind the purchases. What a day. If you like content like this and you want me to continue showing up on live streams, the easiest way that you can support me, I know everybody says it, but please, the easiest way that you can support me is by sharing this, by subscribing, just showing up to my account. Turn on that bell notification because I don't have a set schedule yet. I will eventually. I'm a busy woman, but go ahead and get that notifications going so that when I do show up live, you're notified, and I will continue to show up and do these. I have such a heart for just sharing information, making marketing accessible. I'm finally getting out of my own way. So if that inspires you, wonderful. This is also an account dedicated to just my overall professional journey, my personal journey, lessons learned. It's got a lot of human in it. So you don't have to worry about just being pitched to or sold to all the time. I just want to sit here and be human with you. I want to share things that I'm seeing in the industry. I want to share what I'm seeing in my world, and what I recommend to just feel more aligned in business and marketing. And if that resonates with you, I invite you to stick around. You can find me on probably most of these streaming channels now. I know we're going to be up on Spotify too, probably Apple Podcasts as well. So just stick around, subscribe, say hello, follow my website, and I will see you guys on my way up. Have a good one. Until next time.